Hey. This is Urban Politics. I am your humble host, Phys Ed Music, and let's get right into it like a car and drive. There's all types of delicious politics to sink our teeth into this week. First up, with a humble heart, I have to report that I know him as the Ebeza. You may know him as Biz Markie. Died at 57 on Friday, July 16th. He passed on. That brother will be missed. If you do not know, Biz Markie was famous for songs like Pickin' Boogers, The Vapors, Just a Friend, Alone Again, naturally. That was another big hit of his. He was sued for sampling Alone Again, which actually changed the industry, and it changed the industry because it shined a light on sample clearance. So before Biz Markie had used that song, Alone Again, naturally, and he kind of, it basically, his version sounds like the original version. You know, back then they was calling it a sample, but really if you hear it, you would be like, yeah, it's basically the same song that Biz kind of took and remade. These days they probably would consider it a remake or a spoof, but back then it kind of started the sampling craze, and after that song, then everything had to be cleared. Before that time in hip hop, you could sample a voice, you could sample a cadence, you could sample all types of stuff and never have to pay for it. It wasn't that big a deal. It was just a part of the culture. But after this happened and this guy took Biz Markie to court and he won a bunch of money, and this kind of derailed Biz Markie's whole career. But after that guy won that case, that kind of set a precedent in hip hop. After that, sample clearance was a big deal. Sample clearance started costing a whole lot of money, you know, and it was even little things. You know, if you were going to use anything, if you were going to use or something like that from James Brown, you had to pay for that. There's a time in hip hop that was just a part of the culture. You know, you was cutting that in. That was just how it was. But then after this case, you had to pay for little stuff like that. So that was something. Just a Friend was his biggest hit. It reached number 9 on the Billboard charts. Just a Friend is a great song. It's an amazing song. Bro, you know, as I sit here and think about it, comes to my mind, me and my boys, we actually remade this song, and I'm going to share that song around the internet so y'all can check that out. But that's how much, Biz Markie influenced me and influenced my whole crew. Has influenced, I'm sure, many of the people listening right now. That song, Just a Friend, is a classic. But you say he's just a friend? Who ain't heard that? Everybody's heard it. And he said that, that was one of his biggest hits, and he was so proud of that song and such. So, a lot of people do not know. My favorite rapper, number 1, is Big Daddy Kane. Big Daddy Kane said that Biz was the first person to believe in him. Said after a battle that they had at the Albert Square Mall, I had seen it on Instagram because I follow Big Daddy Kane, and he was talking about it, and he said that, he was down on his luck. He didn't know what he was going to do. He said he went to a rap battle at the Albee Square Mall, and the guy that he battled was Biz Markie. And then after the battle, Biz Markie was like, hey, man, you're good. You're dope. You need to roll with me. Get down with me. And then that just set it all off. But he said Biz Markie was the first person to believe in him and see his talent. So that's huge. You know what I'm saying? There's another song, too, Me and the Biz. That's a song by Masta Ace. Now, Masta Ace did that song, Me and the Biz, but he could not get Biz Markie to be on the song. So he kind of mimicked Biz Markie's voice, and in the video he had like a puppet that looks like Biz. If you got some time, let your fingers do the walking and look up all these songs I'm talking about. I'm telling you, this is good stuff. These guys are pioneer the culture. Masta Ace is still doing his thing. He's still alive. Amazing brother. I'll always take it to the grave. Now, me and my boys, we also redid that song too, but it was me and the Fizz, because I'm Phys Ed, you know what I'm saying, and my brother Lord Hakeem, he did Masta Ace's part, but he was able to get a verse from Masta Ace on an album that he did, and he did it on the strength of that song. That's what he told me. He said, Ed, I let him hear the song. He liked it, and that's the only reason he gave me a verse. Now, that's huge. Masta Ace, this guy's underground. Unless you're a true head, you probably don't know about this guy. I haven't heard about him. He's dynamic. He don't mess with you if he don't dig you or like you. He don't have to. You know what I mean? He got his props. He got his money. He don't mess with you unless he wants to. And the fact that he gave us a verse because he enjoyed that song, Me and the Fizz, I'll take that to the grave. Master Ace, my brother, thank you so much for that. So, you know what I'm saying? That's just a little bit of background on Biz Markie. And like I know him as the Ebenezer. He was always bound to wreck your body till the break of day. He will be missed. Biz Markie is that dude. Oh my goodness. If you haven't heard some of these hits, Picking Boogers and, you know what I'm saying, the Biz Mark is going off. Check all this stuff out, man. Like I said, the guy was a pioneer and he will be missed. So rest in heavenly peace, my brother, Biz Markie. Moving on, let's talk about something called affordable housing and how there ain't none. It's out of reach for many in Ohio and Columbus. Out of Reach Ohio is a report put out by the National Low Income Housing Coalition that tracks how much a person would need to earn to be able to afford an apartment at fair market value. The report defines affordable as 30% or less of a person's income. Think about that. A person in Ohio needs to make $16.64 an hour to afford a 2-bedroom home, up from the $15.99 an hour in 2020. Since the beginning of this year, rent has increased by 7.5%, which is 3 times faster than the usual increases in prices. So really what all this is saying is there is no affordable housing. It doesn't make sense that people who work 40 hours a week cannot afford to live. Think about that. They said right there, you need to be making $16.64 an hour to afford a 2-bedroom apartment or home. I'm gonna tell you, they're being. You probably need to be making more than that, because that $16.64, is this before or after taxes? Please let it be after taxes, because if it's before taxes, well then that ain't cutting the mustard, and that ain't what you're bringing home in real life. You see what I'm saying? So it's just a shame. Everything has went up around here except the money in your paycheck. The cost of living has went up. Rental rates have went up. The cost of food has went up. The cost of a carton of eggs, of a gallon of milk has went up. Everything has went up except the money that you get in your paycheck, except the money that American citizens get per hour. That doesn't make any sense. This minimum wage, obviously, they need to move the needle on this thing. People can't even afford to live. This doesn't make any sense. How many people out there are making even $16.64 an hour? How many people out there are making $15.99 an hour? You run around out here and they talk about paying people $13 an hour, $14 an hour. Come on now. Right here. If you ain't making $16.64, you can't even afford a 2-bedroom. If you weren't making $15.99 in 2020, you couldn't afford a 2-bedroom. I'd venture to say you need to be making more than either of those to afford a 2-bedroom or even a 1-bedroom around here in Columbus, Ohio. But oh well. This is what the study is saying. Even with this information, America needs to get with it. America's employers need to get with it. We need a minimum wage that starts at $15. No one should be working around here in this country for less than $15 an hour. Okay? And like I've always said, and I've said it on this show before, I'll say it again, I'll keep saying it ad nauseum. Even with $15 an hour, you are not living high on the hog. You're living decently. You're able to pay your bills and things like that, but you're not living fat or nothing like that. So come on, raise that minimum wage to $15 an hour so people can live with some dignity. Anyway, moving on, let's talk about Liz Cheney. And what were her actions during the insurrection? Check this out. I found this out recently. They said that she smacked Jim Jordan's hand away when he tried to escort her to safety during the insurrection. She said, and I quote, "Get away from me. You effing did this." She didn't say effing. She used another word that rhymes with ducking. But this is a family show, and I'm not going to use that type of language. But you get my drift. The lady was upset, of course. The nerve of this guy to grab her hand and say, "Ma'am, let me escort you to safety," when it's like, dude, you one of the ringleaders in this madness. You the one pumped these people up. You the one who incited this insurrection that is now threatening all of our lives, including you idiots who talked these people up, who got these people all excited and amped and told them that their vote didn't matter and the vote got stolen from them. So yeah, she smacked his hand away and said, you effing did this. You know, don't try and grab my hand and escort me to safety, man. You the jerk who incited this riot. Why don't you get out there and deal with it? That's what she should have told him. Hey, bruh, you the one incited this riot. Why don't you go out there and deal with it? Why don't you go out there and talk to the constituents that you amped up off some BS? There's that. But that was real interesting right there. That's probably the reason why Miss Cheney was one of the first in line to be on this commission, you know what I'm saying, about the insurrection. Because she was like, yeah, even though I'm a Republican and now y'all you done took my seat, you know, because I wouldn't sign on for the big lie. So guess what? What do I got to lose? Yeah, let me go in and get involved in this and make sure that some people are held accountable. Because my life was threatened that day too, as we see right here. She was looking for a nice, safe place to hide while people were running up in there trying to do harm to her as well. So that is what it is. It's ridiculous is what it is. And I hope Jim Jordan, I hope he sat back and thought about her words at that moment. Anyway, moving on. They talk about how Trump privately complained that he should have lowered the White House flag for the slain Capitol rioter, Alicia Babbitt. She was a veteran, but her actions, they canceled out her honor, which is sad to say. Now, I'm going to tell you, veterans are near and dear to my heart. A lot of my family is in the military. A lot of my uncles are soldiers, you know? So I get it. And really, she deserved that honor. But what she did in the end of her life there was kind of so dishonorable that no one could justify giving her that honor. I didn't hear anything about this. I didn't hear any talk about lowering the flag at half-mast for her. I assume because she was a part of an insurrection trying to take over the U.S. Capitol. So why would you lower the flag at half-mast for someone who's committed an act of treason? That is what it is. Now, sad to say, she did it thinking that she was supporting a legitimate president, thinking that for whatever reason her vote had been stolen or tossed out or tossed to the side or whatever. You know, she was amped up from a madman. And she did these actions. So that kind of wiped out all of her honor. So the fact that he felt down or salty that he couldn't raise the flag at half-mast, how about this, Trump? You could have done that. But to do that would take some cojones. And it would have taken you being like, this woman was a patriot. I feel like she was a patriot. She was one of my followers. I'm going to put everything on the line. I want to lower that flag at half-mast. I'll do it for her. But you've never cared that much about anybody. And you definitely don't care that much about this young lady. So that is what it is. So really that was her only mistake, was following you into the pits of hell. So there you go. But she, you know what I'm saying? But that's what it is. And you can't be mad or upset that you weren't allowed to honor her or that we're not honoring her. What she did, it besmirched her honor. It took away from her honor. You know? There's all the honor in the world in serving. You know? Serving in the armed forces, serving in government, serving your fellow man and woman. There's all the honor in the world in that. But then that act that she did the day that she ended up dying, you know what I'm saying, the act that she took of overthrowing the U.S. Capitol, that act of insurrection, well, that put a black mark, you know, on that record. You know, that tarnished that. That put a blemish there. That put a chink in her armor. Can't get the flag at half-mast because what she did was just so egregious, and it was against the country that she claimed to love and honor and fight for. So there's that, you know, so... yeah, that guy's an idiot. I'm just like, come on, Trey, you don't get that? How does he not get that? You know, you did it. You did it. You did it. You incited a riot that she took part in that took away her honor. You don't get that? And you tell me, why can't I raise the flag at half-mast? Or lower the flag at half-mast? Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about my favorite site. If you listen to the show, watch the show, you know my favorite site is TikTok. My favorite of the social sites is TikTok. I said, the heck with Facebook. You know, I still mess around on there, whatever. Instagram and all that crap. But TikTok is my favorite. But they just hit a crucial milestone only Facebook has been able to achieve. TikTok has been downloaded 3 billion times around the globe. Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and Messenger are the only other non-game apps to hit that mark. proving that Facebook isn't the only app that people don't want to live without. Wow. So that's mind blowing right there. So right there, that's TikTok letting Facebook know that guess what? There's a new sheriff in town. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You doing it big, we're doing it just as big as well. We're right on your heels. If anything, we're getting ready to pass you in a minute here. Just keep it real, man. Facebook is what it is, and I think Facebook has always been the mainstay, and people have kind of grown up with Facebook, and as far as social media goes, Facebook is kind of, you know, one of the first social media apps that a lot of us got on and all that other type of stuff, but TikTok is just better. TikTok is faster. It's more interesting, and I feel like they let a lot of content, they let more content go on TikTok. There's a little more freedom on TikTok. A little more. Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like TikTok ain't censoring things, and I'm going to get into that in a little while here, how they're really censoring things. And maybe you've even heard about the boycott that's going on right now with a lot of some sisters and some brothers on TikTok who have created these dances. I reported about it and can't get any, you know, credit or respect for the dances and stuff that they've created or whatever. So, you know, they're doing a boycott. They said we're not going to make up any more dances. So that's going on, and those things like that do go on TikTok. But at the end of the day, I really do think that there's just a lot of educational stuff on TikTok and a lot of just interesting stuff on TikTok. Besides the dances, that stuff's cool and fun too. But some of the educational stuff that's on there is just really mind blowing. But it's interesting that they've gotten to that mark. 3 billion times around the world they've been downloaded. That is a whole lot. But to think that these other apps that Facebook has got, all of them share that. WhatsApp, Instagram, Messenger. I didn't know they were doing it that big either. I guess, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of people on this planet, and a lot of them are involved in these social media outlets. So that is what it is. Moving along, though, along those same lines, Jen Psaki, the press secretary, you know, for the White House, speaker for the White House, she was asked a loaded and inaccurate question by Peter Doocy of Fox News about the White House spying on Facebook accounts. And basically, and that's not what's going on. You know, the White House says that they have been looking at Facebook accounts. They've been flagging some accounts because they are full of misinformation, especially about the COVID virus and things like that. You know, Joe Biden, he was quoted as saying they're killing people. So he was saying that a lot of people are tuning into Facebook. They're getting misinformation from Facebook, and it's going towards the death of people because they're not getting vaccinated. There's that. I hear that. It's interesting how, you know what I'm saying, this guy from Fox News would sit up there and come at her about this, you know, saying that they're spying on Facebook accounts, when it's like they even have to do all this because of the outlet that you work for, because of some of the lies that Fox News has propagated about this virus. So this guy working for the outlet that has been a part of the lie and fear-monger machine that has been reporting on the COVID virus has the audacity to come at her and say that Joe Biden and the Democrats are spying on people's Facebook accounts. And that's not what's going on. They're just flagging accounts saying that, come on, this is misinformation. You know, Facebook, what are you going to do about this? Now, in the past, Facebook, they claim that they've been applauded for some of the moves that they've made to, you know, to keep tabs on some of this reckless information. But that's, I don't know how true that is. I don't think it's all that true, because in the end of the day, Facebook is a company and they're about making money. They're really about getting viewership. You know, they're really about getting, you know, followers, people who invest in the site, because really that's really all their currency. You know, all this free information that they get from me, you, and a whole bunch of other people. That's their currency. So they want to always be in a position to get that. So that's what they're really about. Are they about censoring things? Probably not so much. I don't think they do a good job of it at all. But like I said, in the end of the day, I don't think they're really interested in doing a good job of that. You know, I mean, and that's another reason why, like, a lot of these sites are not pay sites. You'll never probably ever have to pay to have a Facebook account or pay to have a Twitter or anything like that, because they want to make sure that they retain ownership. If they make you pay for it, now you've bought something. Now you own something. And you can go to court with that. They don't ever want people being able to do that. They'll always make it something free that they control. At the end of the day, it's you coming on their site, giving away your information. And they want to keep it like that. So That's what's up with that. So this will probably never go away. They're killing people. You know what? That is what it is. I kind of feel like people who are going to take the vaccine are taking it. People who weren't going to take it are taking it. Now, all of this stuff started with your boy, Mr. Trump. He is the guy who made wearing a mask political. Who turned this into a culture war and all this other crap, you know, and so that's where we're at right now, and there's no getting rid of that. We're stuck with that, and that's just going to be what it is. President Biden, he'll probably never get over that hump of getting some X number Americans vaccinated, because that's just always going to be there. But Trump did that. He's sown the seeds of division in this country. He has sown the seeds of racism in this country, and it's thick, it's ingrained, and it ain't going nowhere. It's going to be around for a long time, you know, and that's sad to think, because you know what, when Barack Obama was president, a lot of us, myself included, were kind of feeling like we were living in this post-racial America, you know, like racism had kind of just went away for a minute, or at least was quietly in the back room, was just going to shut up and knew its place now to not come out so much. But then, you know, we had a president who really emboldened that guy, and he is out now. And there is no stuffing him back. You can't put baby in a corner. So that guy named Racism, he is out, and he is out and proud. So we're going to have to deal with that as a country. But all of this is Trump's fault, and you could tell him I said so. Moving on. One of the last points I'm going to get into, I want to talk about Representative Joyce Beatty. Love that lady. Now, I have been critical of her on this show because I talked about how she had some town halls and she wasn't there. She literally phoned it in, you know, which is something a career politician does. She's been doing it for a long time. But I have to wood back myself, boy, and give her props, give props where props is due. She was arrested on Thursday at the U.S. Capitol while protesting in favor of voting rights legislation. She was voting, or she was actually protesting in favor of the For the People Act and John Lewis Voting Rights Act. And I guess they were saying while she did the speech there, she was saying that she hoped she would get arrested, that, you know, that's what this thing is about. And that's exactly what it was about. That's what John Lewis was talking about when he was talking about good trouble, you know, or righteous trouble. And that's what it is, getting in that good trouble, getting arrested and shining a light on a just and worthy cause, being a part of a just and worthy fight. What's more worthy than voting rights? That's huge right there. The For the People Act, we need that. The John Lewis Voting Rights Act, I've talked about both of those on the show here. Those are much needed so that we can protect the vote and so that people do not get disenfranchised. So, and that's huge right there. I like to see politicians out there earning their paycheck. Like I said, Joyce Beatty, she's a career politician. So she's been doing it for a minute. So I like the fact that this sister, who's been in the game for a minute, who's got the apparatus, she ain't going nowhere until she wants to. So she'll be there until the day she dies, probably. But still, she got up off her rusty dusty, went to the Capitol, and did some protesting, did some speaking, you know, in the name of voter rights and voter registration and all of that stuff. So that is amazing. I love that. I love when politicians go out there and earn that paycheck. Show us that you still care, you know, about what you're, you know, about the lives of your constituents. You know, show us that you're still one with the people. And that's what she did right there. So you know, hats off to her. I say, you know, ma'am, thank you for your service. That's what's up. I like to see that. So my last point, let's go ahead and let's talk about my IPA of the week. Now, this place right here, they are known for good IPAs. This Fathead Brewery, they got like awards and stuff like that. This right here is called their Headhunter Indian Pale Ale. Ah, man, and this is delicious right here. Like I said, Fathead Brewery, they got some great IPAs. They said this right here is an aggressively hopped West Coast IPA. Aggressively hopped. But it is smooth and delicious. I'm going to tell you, this right here is just, it's really a treat. The alcohol content, here we go, is 7.5. Like I always say on the show, most beers are 5.0. This is 7.5, so that right there is a nice high alcohol content. You're going to feel this guy when you sip them. It is delicious. It's smooth. It's hoppy. And like I said, the brewery, they are known for delicious IPAs. They've won awards and such. Fathead Brewery. So if you got a little bit of money in your pocket, Get this delicious Fathead Brewery IPA. This Headhunter. Delicious. Good stuff. All right, then. We are done. That is my time. I'm your humble host, Phys Ed Music. This right here has been Urban Politics, where politics lives. You are always in the pushback zone. If you want to push back on anything that you've heard, or just leave a comment, please feel free to leave a comment after the video. Or you can always hit me up at phys-ed-music@gmail.com. You can hit me up on Instagram. You can hit me up on TikTok. You can hit me up on Facebook. All of that good stuff. So, yes, please do that. And, be a part of the conversation that goes on long after the show is off. I think that was I took that from Al Sharpton. But that is what's up. That same thing goes on here. So, once again, I'm Phys Ed Music. This is Urban Politics. And as always, see you around like a donut.